that? How y'all beat me? Hold on.
Hey, we own it.
I see. What's up, family? What's going on?
Hey.
Hey, my birthday twin over there. Yeah.
It sounds like a setup.
What's up, Ed?
Everything lovely. I just met Miss Brooks here. She told me she's gonna psychoanalyze me. Mess around like this.
No,
she done broke you down already.
27 years. She was telling I got issues. All over again.
She done broke you all. She done broke you down already.
Broke me down.
Yeah, this is a first. I should have known y'all was gonna be here before I would, because I know I want to say last week when me and Brooke, the week before last rather, it was her first time with us on our channel, and she was on, like, I think we got on right at the exact same time. I said, yeah, she gonna be on time.
Yes.
All right. Well, welcome to another episode of Black Marriage Chronicle. It's funny now. You've already met our esteemed colleague here, Brooke. So I'm sure she didn't give you her resume. Thank you so much, Brooke, for coming back. We definitely appreciate it. And we have the Hawkins. All right, the Hawkins.
Yes.
Edward and Susan. And like I said earlier, that is my birthday namesake, my cousin, my family. So I definitely appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah.
I always like to start off, kind of before we get started. Brooke is not here in the capacity to, you guys are how many years in as far as marriage?
27.
27 years.
Nice.
Absolutely, yes. So Brooke is not here in the capacity to, as Edward said, psychoanalyze y'all marriage or anything like that. She's really just here in the capacity as you guys tell us the history of your marriage, things that have happened, good, bad, or indifferent, to kind of break that down for our audience to say, hey, if you're in this position, these may be some tools you can use in order to get out of those things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Along with your live experience, because you went through it, you know? So, and again, I tell people, because I truly believe God is going to bless this platform. I appreciate everybody's that's here, but I'm not a relationship expert by no means whatsoever. I don't have a degree in psychology or anything like that. I don't have Brooke's educational background as far as it relates to relationships or anything like that. But I'm here just to provide the platform, especially for Black marriages, to bring our stories to the forefront so that they can be told in real time by real people who have went through them and say, hey, if you stick in there, you can make it through. 26 years is proof of that. You feel me?
Yes.
So that is the goal.
How many years?
You said 27 years, right?
Okay.
26 years.
Yeah, don't cheat. You said 26. I need 27.
27. Okay.
27. He want every moment.
Every minute.
That's right.
27 years. Absolutely. We don't want to take any of that away from you guys. But we appreciate you coming on. And I also like to just say, I truly believe that marriage is a sacred thing. In that, being able to have being able to come forward and talk about the things, good, bad, or indifferent, that are happening in your marriage is brave of you. And we don't take that lightly at all. And again, like I said, I know marriage is a sacred thing. So we want to make sure that we acknowledge that space as well, that it's not easy for people to come on here and talk about those painful moments or not so happy moments in their marriage, but you made it to the other side. You're on the other side of it now. And and that many years in marriage lets you know, hey, we okay with it now because we did the work, we put in the work. That's why we're able to talk about our stories. So I do understand that, being able to come on here and share that information is I thank you. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I really thank you. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. Tell us a little bit about I'm sorry, wait a minute, before we get started. So we do have games that we play on here that are inspired by Black game artists. And it's kind of to break up the monotony, to ask some. It also kind of helps spark some robust conversation, because we may be able to dive into some other things, depending on what your answers are to the questions. Some games are designed that you would really play between the two of you, like at home, just to kind of spark up conversation. Other games are just kind of games you would probably play in a room full of couples or things like that. It's just, just normal games. So this game here is called Tonight, Let's Talk.
Okay.
All right. And if you choose this game, whatever game you do choose, you got to kind of let us know before we get started with the conversation. So this is called Tonight, Let's Talk.
Mhm.
Then we have another one. It's called Naughty and Nice.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
Yep, we got Naughty and Nice. And then we have culture tags. Now, with this particular game, if you want a lifeline, you're more than welcome to get one. If you want to call some family members, cuz
Mhm.
chime in on this, you're more than welcome to do so. The only thing is that if you call them, you need to have them on like a FaceTime. Or actually, I can probably send them a link and then they can come on real quick and answer the question if you want.
That we ain't gonna do all that. That's
We
too
gonna do all
much.
that? Okay, no worries. Okay.
No, we ain't gonna do that.
So just choose which game you like. I know culture tags is out then.
Yeah. Naughty and nice.
Your cousin.
Not naughty and nice.
All right, Naughty and Nice. All right, great. All right, great pick. Normally it's the husbands who pick this, by the way.
Oh, okay.
That's why I got 27 years.
Right.
All right, so tell us a little bit about your marriage. To give us a little bit of context, background, how long you've been married. We know 27 years. Are any children involved? How did you meet? Kind of just give us some context.
You want to go first? We met at church.
Okay.
He started to try to date me, court me, but I was
Pushed up on you early, cuz.
he was pressing up on us. And I was like, I was in nursing school. And I didn't want or need any distractions.
Okay.
I was at that point in my life where, I don't want to be bothered. I'm really focused. But in 1993, it was my 10-year high school class reunion, and I had finished nursing school. So I'm feeling free and fresh. And I asked him to go with me to take me to my 10-year high school reunion.
Okay.
And after that, it was history. I think that was on a Friday night, matter of fact. And the next day, Saturday, we continued to hang. He asked me to go to the movies. And then, of course, we was at church Sunday. And then we just kept going on and on.
What movie did y'all go see?
I don't know.
I know. I can't say I know either.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
Normally one person gets that right. I'm like, okay. All right.
I don't remember that.
27 years and 3 children. Nah, that's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bet you want to say too, she called me right. I pushed up and she wouldn't give me, she gave me a little bit of a wink, but not much.
Not much.
And she said, I just hear it now today, first time.
That's that cancer trait, Ed. We play hard to get initially.
So, but at the same time, I'm feeling, because at that point in mind, I was smooth.
Okay.
I had a phone, I had a black book for real. It went from A to Z. So when she's not saying no, I'm like, I know she ain't telling me no. I know but she meant no.
Yeah.
She really don't know, Ed. She don't know. She don't really know what she's passing up.
But she came back around. We did have that time. And finished too. But it's funny. She after we got in past the reunion and we spent a little weekend, so a few weeks roll. Then she came, she told me, she said, you know what? And we doing church now, right? She said, I hear your name in the bathroom too much.
She said, what?
I hear your name in the women's bathroom too much. Because I had the pastor's keys and I would have left to the right. I was the guy.
Okay.
Like, no, too many sisters got your name in your mouth, either about they either went out with them or they think you look nice. She said, I'm not for that kind of static. So we're gonna need to back on down, cool down. I said, no, she didn't. Took me down once. I got back in. I got a few weeks rolling, and then she come and tell me again about another stipulation. Back your brother back up. Are you gonna take that?
Oh, and when we went to the reunion, I forgot to tell this. When we went to the reunion, my good girlfriend from high school, we sat at the same table. I think we sat down maybe about 5 minutes, and she said, y'all gonna get married. She said, you gonna marry him. I was like, girl, you just taking me to the party. 3 years later, we walking down the aisle.
Oh my God. That is almost like a fairy tale ending. So Ed, how did you move past all that? Because I know women, and I mean, especially cancer women, but just women in general, when they hear your name moving too much in tight circles, they tend to, and it don't take much to turn a woman off, especially a cancer woman, because I know I done dealt with them. So
Yeah.
how did you convince her? Like, listen, I'm the one. You passing up a good thing.
Well, because a lot of the conversations were, like you said, women just need a little bit. So in the bathroom, many of the sisters would just call the name out because they see me in the church all the time. I dressed pretty swell. I with the pastor had the keys, so they was having their own little fantasies and conversations. But it was enough for her to say, "No, something going on. I can't be bothered with that." So when I first got the push, I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. I'm good too.
Yeah.
Let me keep working out the book."
Okay.
After a while of that book, man, I can't believe this girl did this. So I had to calm the book down. I had to come and play that role.
Okay.
Play the role as if I'm calm, it's you, and now we're gonna be good.
Right.
But at the same time, I had intention on working my book.
Okay.
That didn't work long either because I really got to like her.
Okay.
So I had to push the book back, and I had to make it. And then let me say this first part too. We blended because when she got with me or we got together, I had 4 children.
Mm.
And so here's a sister with a degree, good looking now, got her own bank account with money in it, and had a brother here who was nice, but he came with baggage. Ooh. But she jumped in and she accepted that. I had to get my children every week. I chose to.
Okay.
Paying for the court or not, I still need to be with my babies. She was right there. To the movies, to packing sandwiches, going out to the park. They come to know her well, and that impressed me.
Okay.
That helped me, it's not in the book. It's with her here. And so that became my motive. Wow. To keep her around and to work this out. And lo and behold, it worked out. We wound up at the altar.
Amen to that. Amen to that, brother. Now you said 4 children. What were their ages when you guys got together?
So they were young.
They were young. So I'm doing.
No, you weren't doing diapers, but they were young, like 8, 9, 11.
So they really much have personalities, can kind of speak up for themselves.
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
Yes, most definitely. And here's a little backdrop. I don't because this is just messy. It's just messy.
You wonder why the cancer woman stayed.
Listen, I'm calling her.
Look, you see that, Brooke? She moved into the camera. Like, I need y'all to get
it's like, hear what I'm saying here.
Right.
Here, it was messy, but not messy.
Okay.
My sister wife, his first wife, I call her my sister wife because the sister wife, we've never had any issues. We had one phone call conversation, but they had got married at the church. The first wife went to the church too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was the assistant pastor's brother, the sister.
Oh, wow.
So I knew her, she knew me. But we would, I just give her kudos because we was grown women and it wasn't messy. He was long divorced, but so the children was familiar with me. Sister, Sister Mathis.
Yes.
They knew me at church. That's Sister Mathis. I'm the single lady at church and stuff. So yeah. But
you know what? I think that and Brooke, I would like you to chime in on this. I think that plays a major part when whoever the non-biological parent is and the biological parent can get along. I mean, get along well. And because at the end of the day, it's about the kids. Like, if for y'all to be able to bond, I'm sure that's probably the reason why it was harmonious with you and the kids. Would you say, Brooke?
Absolutely. I think that the relationship that you build or foster, the previous partners, having had a decent cut off of their relationship, it helps for everybody to move forward. And it sounds like that was the case with Ed, that there was a breakoff, a substantial breakoff between you and your first wife. So therefore, we all know that people move on. And it's very important, though, that you were able, Susan, to talk to her. And you guys, I'm assuming, have built some kind of a relationship since then.
Over the years, most definitely. And
bonding about the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She knew that my intentions was, and we had that conversation. That was part of that one major, let's be clear conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, girl, I'm not about to mess up your friend of the court. I support friend of the court. You should get some check. But know this, my check ain't friend of the court, though. His check. He's still gonna get it. So whatever you getting, you're gonna get it out his check.
Absolutely.
And I support you for getting that money because you deserve it and the kids deserve it.
Yes,
and you know, she knew I wasn't a messy female anyway. My name wasn't circulating, and so I've already established a reputation, and she wasn't messy either, and she was a good mom. So through the years, that just kind of netted us together even more so. Now they got crazy at times, but like, I ain't in that.
Yeah, and as long as the other person can recognize that you are there for the good of their child too, that's a bonus for everybody.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're not there to try to put a wedge in between the kids and their dad. I'm here to support them as best I can, the same way that I'm hoping that you would want to support your kids. So it's a win for everybody if we just all get along here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let me say this here too. Now she never tried to take anybody's role. The kids on their own, after time went on, they began to say they called her Mama Sue. Because that relationship was there, because she was there with them, and when they was feeling some kind of way, needed a hug, and I couldn't hug all of them at the same time, they got a hug from Sue. They got a smile from Sue, and that made a big difference in their life. But let me just spread it out since we all in this now.
Yeah.
That was the one in the church. I had two more mamas on the outside.
Wait. So we got 4 children all together.
Three mamas.
And three mamas?
3 mamas.
Ooh. All right.
Okay.
So,
before we got to the altar.
Okay. Yes.
But
so there was no.
And Susan still said, "Come on."
Right. I still said it was.
She said, "Come on." She said some other things too. Because I went through it. Because I had a couple of friend of court cases, and I had one mama that as we say now, she was just really out of spirit. So she was real angry.
She probably wasn't past. She probably wasn't past the relationship.
She wasn't.
She wasn't past the relationship, and it wasn't so much that she even wanted me back. She was just evil and angry.
Misery. The old adage: misery loves company.
Absolutely. And so whatever she could do. Here's a quick one. Got the children, got them with me. One of my boys, he with me. We cleaned up the church. Because that was one of my roles. He cleaned up, and he went in one of the engineer's pockets and took the wallet.
Oh no!
The engineer called me and said, "Hey, where's the wallet?" Long story short, and we don't know. I found it on him. My son, he didn't lie. He in the bathroom trying to do something with it. I check him. So in checking, the mama files a charge saying that I was abusive.
Oh no!
Sent me to jail. Sent me to a behavioral correctional clinic.
This is before y'all got married.
This is early in our marriage.
This is early in our marriage. But I'm talking about real early to the morning, because the ink ain't dry yet. So she had a lot. So that's why that was one of the things you said. Well, I had to let her know that she is the one, because she stood by me through all that.
Right. Yeah. You know what? Y'all done gave us about 3 examples. It wasn't funny then, but it's funny now.
Right.
That's it. That phrase it right.
Yes.
And that's a sign of women not allowing men to parent their sons. Like some women feel like they've always got to be the deciding factor, when if we just kind of sit back and allow men to parent their children, their male and female children, then it's a win for them. If you had a child with someone who you even remotely like or think is a good person, right? I'm not saying you let your kids go off with people that are not savory, but
that's right.
As far as you being the dad, maybe it was something that she should have talked to the son about and said, "Hey, what happened?" But still stand behind you as the parent. Your dad said such and such, you did such and such. Okay, it's the discipline that you got.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what she did, but she took his side.
Yeah, I think it's always important, because kids gonna try it. Because I think we all have done it. You try, especially when the parents are not the biological parents are not together. You try to do stuff and you recognize early on who you can kind of I don't think it's your intention to pit them against one another, but you go to the parent who you feel like is going to be the less the easiest to manipulate.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you got a problem and in fact, when the parents, even if you disagree, you don't let the child know that. We might disagree, behind closed door, but we gonna stand together in this.
Keep a united front.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, and that makes a difference. You got to do that early on. Yeah, absolutely. So I totally agree. Oh man, this is gonna be fun. I can tell this is gonna be a good one. So I hope you guys are not pressed for time. Let me ask you this. What season would you say that your marriage is today?
You gotta, I mean,
when I say season, I don't necessarily mean whatever you assign it to. It could be we're in a season of rebuilding, reconnecting, something like that. Like what season would you say your marriage in after 27 years? What season would you say it's in?
I guess what a word for me that comes in is the a couple things. We have made it, and we're in rejuvenation.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, because we put concentrated time in, even as we did earlier. In that, for instance, we have our upper room or whatever little room we have in a little house. We call it our sanctuary, where with the kids and the three that we had at home, we had two in diapers at all time for several years. We always found some time to go and take a few minutes for ourselves.
Okay.
Even if we just laughed and looked at one and just feel right to sleep. Okay. It didn't always involve a sexual activity because we was running on fumes then.
Okay.
And through all the stuff that we went through, we're at this point now where we find time, make time, and people be concerned about the scheduling. Yeah, we schedule it to make sure it works because life is doing what it's doing. Our kids are adults, but they still pulling on us. They still
schedule what? The intimate time?
We schedule intimate time. We schedule relationship time. We make sure we put something on the books a couple times a month about going out, date night if you would. And that's just real for us because we come and she tell you if there's anything different. We've come to a point now where, and I always laugh with my friends, say she gonna get my insurance money. Because I'm done. Ain't no more lefts and rights, ain't no more skirts, and nothing. And I see the skirts, they come. But I'm good where I'm at. And I'm as satisfied with just coming home and going upstairs and sitting in my easy chair. And I give her the whole downstairs with her and her dog. And the garage door come open and I hear her, I'm good. So that's what's happening for us. We constantly are rejuvenating what we have. We no longer take it for granted. And whatever little bit it needs, and I'm saying here too, it's getting a little deep. My wife makes sure that if something happens between us and I go to the left, you can bet she gonna tell him it wasn't because he wasn't loved. It wasn't because he didn't get loving. It wasn't because he didn't have the look. And she provides the looks and she does the hair and she always sits and it's always there for me.
Yeah, so, y'all camera froze too.
What happened?
It looks like y'all camera has frozen.
Yeah, we can still hear you. There you go.
Yeah, we can still hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see. Yeah, we can see you guys fine now.
Okay.
So
what you've done is prioritize your relationship in the same way that you have a schedule when you have to when and if you still go to work. They have times that you're supposed to be at work and doing particular things.
That's right.
Yeah. So your relationship is just as important or more important than those things. So therefore, there is time that is set aside for just us, not for us and the kids. This is time for us to pay attention to our relationship.
Yes, that's it, right? Yeah, that's it. Pay attention. Pay attention.
Absolutely. That's definitely. I love that word, Ed. I love that word rejuvenation. I really do. That was powerful. Yeah,
that was a good one. Yeah,
it really was.
That was a good one.
How does he or she still make you laugh? And if so, what is the last thing they did to make you laugh?
Oh yeah. No, that's our thing. We laugh at each other all the time. What happened yesterday that we?
Well, yeah, we was in our sanctuary fellowship time, And then she came back upstairs and she said, you want a little more wine? I said, yeah. And next thing I know, she was dancing.
Okay.
She said,
how many glasses of wine did you have?
She said, can you hear it? And then I said, oh Lord. But I like one time for about 5 months. I said, Lord. She said, I see my here. I said, okay, you good, baby. Because I got worried. Because she was popping like, can't you hear it? And she looked like the music on, just go for it. So I'm like, I don't eat nothing, Jesus. So we just laughed at one another because she was laughing and it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
That was the most recent yesterday.
All right, let's pick a couple questions from the game. All right. I normally try to ask at least 3, and then we'll ask like 3 throughout. Okay, so here's the first one. Your partner has an old video of them getting whipped cream licked off their stomach by their favorite celebrity. Are you okay with them keeping the video? A, sure, if it is before the relationship. B, no, they must delete it. C, no, but you're not going to press the issue. Or D, yes, period.
I'm okay with them keeping the video. It's old.
Okay.
Time passed. We over. So that's just a memory to keep, laugh about, say, I remember when.
Okay. What about you, Ed?
You said our favorite celebrity is licking whipped cream off her what?
Off your stomach.
Oh, okay. Now we're gonna delete that one. Matter of fact, we're gonna delete that one, and I don't need to hear that one even bring it up, because he's real with me, in my opinion. For the brothers, different.
Yeah,
we get caught up into the imagination.
Yeah.
We just remember she ain't done nothing.
That they have never had a life before you.
Like they never had a life before, and she can quick say, well, you got 19 babies. I know you've been somewhere before.
Right.
But
we do, you know what? And generally, when there's infidelity in the marriage or in a relationship period, the women are more likely to forgive. The men,
hold on.
And that's right. That's right after we got caught.
Yeah.
We get caught, she forgive, she do it, and I'm messed up for life.
Yeah, we scar for life. Exactly. We don't let it go. Absolutely. I totally agree. All right, here's the next question. Ed said we delete that video.
From his mind.
And I don't want to hear no more about it.
You want to talk about it.
Delete.
He said we deleting that video and I don't want to hear no more about it.
You don't want to talk about it. Okay.
Matter of fact, I don't want no whipped cream in my house either.
Don't buy no whipped cream.
Don't tell the kids, don't buy no whipped cream.
Don't buy no whipped cream. Don't bring it in this house.
Doing.
All right. Which one is the worst? A, your partner having a secret profile of extremely revealing pictures. B, your partner having a secret stash of money. C, your partner having a huge debt they hid from you, 200+K. Or D, your partner having previous felonies they never told you about.
Oh, wow.
What's the worst, huh?
Yeah.
What's the worst?
That was all pretty bad.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I don't. Maybe the felonies for me.
Okay.
Yeah, those are all good ones. The felony, the money. I don't know. Felonies first. Because you got a felony now. We got to deal with that for the rest of your life. I can find the money, and then I'm gonna take it.
What about you, Ed? What you say?
You mentioned the 200K debt, and what was that first one you said?
Your partner having a secret profile of extremely revealing pictures. I wouldn't. Me personally, that one would be the least on my list.
Yeah, I think it would be it would be the felony.
Okay.
Yeah, because we are always trying to be. Yeah, it would be the felony. The debt.
It wasn't a debt. He was saying a secret stash of money.
Secret.
I think there was 2 of them.
It was 2. Yeah. One was there's a secret stash of money, and then C was your partner having a huge debt they hear from you with like 200+K.
Okay, my mistake.
Yeah, so I'll go with the felony because again, the cash, it's gonna come up. I'm gonna find it too, and then our relationship, if I'm gotta evaluate it from what it is and what I've known today, is eventually gonna spend on us.
Okay.
Yeah, she might have, but then she's gonna start pitching off of and talking about we can go to Italy. So how we gonna go to Italy? I ain't gonna go to Italy. She says, okay,
Don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry about it.
Don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry about it, right?
Don't worry about it.
The less questions you ask, the better. But yeah, the felony would be it because
Okay. All right. Question number 3. As a birthday gift, your new boo hacked Experian and gave you an 850 credit score. What would you do? A, ask them to change it back. B, that's a negative for me. B, thank them for the kind gesture. C, call the police on them. Or D, ask them to teach you how to hack.
How'd they give you 850? They hacked it?
They, for your birthday, they hacked Experian and gave you an 850 credit score. Listen, we winning. This ain't gonna trace back to you, is it? We good. I'm straight. You got an 850 score too? Let's do this.
We're gonna use this.
I know that's right.
Well, for me, I think I'll be like, I don't want this to come back on me. Change it back.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want it to come back on me.
You know what, Sue, I swear you and my wife are just like, see, I'm that guy in the grocery store, like, you know how you scan your groceries and you might miss something to put in the bag. Leave it.
Leave it.
That's me. My wife, no, put it back, scan it. Like, oh.
That's
right. Right, yeah.
That's why I told my wife all the time. I say, you remind me of my cousin so much. I swear. Y'all, she's so, I'm like, relax.
Now, we got
what you say?
Yes, Stacy, yes.
Yeah.
What you say, Ed?
Yeah, the 850 hacking got the 850 up, then we're gonna use that.
My man, Ed. There we go. We using that. We using that.
She would. Yeah, she definitely will. We get out to the car, and I got the item in there. It didn't get paid for. Well, we'll get it next time. No, we should take it back.
Yep.
Like in the store, stand in line to say, I want to get this back to you.
Yes.
Like, oh, Jesus, you sent me the wrong one.
Right.
Road dog and turn.
And I'm telling you, I think we might have the same partner because I promise you, when I started dating my wife and as time went on, I said, you remind me of my cousin. I couldn't wait for her to meet Sue. I said, y'all remind me so much of one another. I promise you. Okay. Do you have outside interests? And if so, what are they? And was there ever a time in your marriage where where you found it difficult to communicate to your partner what those outside interests were?
Outside interests like he
Just
may like to bowl and I.
It's just hobbies or things that you like to do for yourself that may not involve your partner.
Oh yeah. I like my alone time.
Okay.
So I think that was challenging for him because I'm like, no, I don't need to be with you all the time. And I just want to be boom. So through our years, and I think he's learned to give me that space and learn that of me, and not personalize.
Yeah.
And in the outside interest, I needed that girlfriend time. Like, he's been a dad since he's been 9, so he's always had kids. It's always kids, and I'm single. I don't have any kids, and I was always a girlfriend. I'm doing girlfriend lunch. We going shopping. So I needed that. And then when I started having kids, it was like, oh, I need some adults. I need some girlfriends. I need my cousins' times,
Yeah.
So through the years, he's learned to accept and give me that girlfriend time.
How did you process that when your wife came to you like, hey, I need this alone time. I need this time with my girlfriends. Like, how did you process that?
I didn't process it well at all. We bumped heads a lot on that. And the cousins time, we're gonna put that in another category altogether. That's something different. That's a different species. But the other girlfriends time, they were single and had some issues in their life as well. And my conversation with her, and I originally came or spoke it differently and spoke it incorrectly, but gave her a hard time to receive it, was when I see you leave and come back different after being with this person, or something seeks in my household that brings an imbalance, that concerns me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And because I didn't say it properly, her defense was, I'm just with my friends. That's what they do. I ain't what I'm doing.
Right.
But in the spirit, I seen it. So after us sticking at this, and me, she not turned down because she still needed her time. I had to find a place where I could allow that time. I believe she also, in my opinion, she also heard me in the in natural and in the spirit what I was saying, and that began to mellow itself out.
Okay.
You know, some of those friends became a little more distant. Also, here was, thank you, Lord, we found a place where in the girlfriend's messiness, I was able to find a platform to allow her to share without condemning her. Okay. Or coming too hard at her girlfriends. Because these are girlfriends. They got more time than I got.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm also was about protecting my home and protecting my wife.
Absolutely.
So that was our work it out kind of. Right. Girlfriends had to still be there because that was a part of her life and she needed that. I had to learn to live with that. At the same time, she found a way to, the Lord allowed her to hear me, even though I wasn't speaking properly at the first, that he is just concerned about make sure those spirits don't transfer to you and come to our home. And I would see them in the spirit, but it didn't handle them well.
Right.
But over time, we worked it out. We got a balance. And I can say the things that the girlfriends were going through, she didn't have to keep it all to herself. When she shared it with me, there was a comfortable platform, and we talked about it. And whatever adjustments she needed to make, she made. And at the same time, I believe I left her with, that ain't you, and I'm not coming real hard telling your girlfriend's stupid. Even though she would say it, but she had rights to say it.
Yeah.
As her girlfriend.
Right.
Outside, brother, or somebody listening, you don't have a right to say that.
Yeah. I think it's interesting when your wife comes to you or your spouse comes to you about stuff that preceded you, to definitely not put them in a space where you're judging their friends, because you just never know how the person may take that. Like you said, they got way more time than you in, and they may, and then now your wife looking at you sideways, like, you know, why you all on my girlfriends? What wrong, right, or indifferent? So that is
that's right.
What do you say to things like that?
I think that trust is something that I kept thinking about when you were talking about it. It's a matter of being able to trust your partner too, and recognizing that Sue wasn't going out. She's just hanging out with the same people that she was hanging out with before. Not that she was doing those things, but you're being able to trust her and recognize that that's my girlfriend, fiance, wife. I know her, and just because her friends are this particular way does not mean that she will. And automatically, over time, your friend group starts to change because you have less in common, right? So yeah, I still know those women. They're my friends, but I hang out with them less because we just have less in common. But I think that if you had stuck your feet in the sand, it's like, no, you can't do this A, B, and C, it probably would have elongated the process. Yeah. Because everyone likes to feel like they can do what it is that they want to do in a marriage, because you don't own me, I don't own you, but do it respectfully. Yeah. And it sounds like once there was this trust that Sue's not out doing what they're doing, and she's coming to tell me about it, it eased up your mind to be able to more readily allow her that time that she needed with her friends.
Absolutely. And that's a good one, because again, my feeling of what I was seeing, she brought it back and confirmed, yeah, it's true. But here it is true within the parameters. I'm praying for her too. That's my friend. I don't want to see her going through this. I've been trying to tell her the same thing. She just wants to hear me. Like, we all don't hear it until it's being told and we really want to hear it. So that eases out for us. Dr. Brooke, that trust piece, when you mentioned that, this too comes to mind. Sue likes to get massages. So this is a period of time we were early doing the massage. And for her, she, as Al knows, she's a real prissy. She, she got to brush her teeth 12 times a day. We just going So she was prepping for the massage, and her words was, I don't want to have nobody pressing up on me that I'm not comfortable in the way I smell and appears. So she was taking showers and baths and coming out strong out the door. Right. So, for a minute,
Like, what's going on here?
Hey, listen here. I had a situation like that last night. I'm like, wait, hold on.
What mean is this?
Right,
Yes.
what is going on here?
She was taking care of herself. That was her own self-care though, right?
Own self-care for my benefit. But for a while I had to learn to get it, to understand it, because it was just the same little regular 45 minutes an hour, and she was back and she's calling me, where you want to pick up pizza? And and after a while she found room to even be able to say, I really enjoyed that. That was good. Oh, I feel so much relaxed. And she would always say this here, at the end, that's just how this cancer piece work. Ain't nothing like you though, Big Daddy. I like, yeah, right.
What,
I just want to go pay somebody else to do it.
Right.
What the cow going on?
I found, you know what? I think that happens in a lot of relationships where you find that you doing something and it's nothing wrong, but you feel something like, how do I communicate to this person? Like, hey, I really enjoyed though. I like without them feeling some kind of way. Yeah. I don't know what that's called. Is there something you put on that, Brooke? That how you do something and you not quite like Ed wasn't totally comfortable with that, like Sue getting herself all together, possibly where the massage is being done by a man.
Yeah.
That piece right there, like, and I think some of that comes with a little bit of security, because I don't consider myself to be an insecure man. However, I think there are certain instances that either partner can do and it make you feel some kind of way, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like how being able to communicate that to your partner, like, I'm feeling some kind of way.
Because that's what it is. Right. And that's what it is being able to communicate what both of you feel at the same time. Because if Ed said, hey, what's going on? Then Sue could have said, yeah, these are the reasons why I do that, because, and that would have created a opening to have further conversation about it a little bit earlier before he actually got an opportunity to say it. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Every 2 weeks you taking a shower. As if you don't take showers before in between that time. Every 2 weeks you're taking a shower to go see boo boo down the street to give you a massage, right? But it's all in the understanding of what her mind frame is of doing it. Then none of us think exactly alike about the same thing.
Absolutely.
She might have just assumed that, of course, he knows why I'm doing this. I'm not doing anything else. But until you actually verbalize that I don't understand, then she was able to explain, this is why I do this.
Yes.
And as long as there's trust and understanding between the two of you, it makes that conversation a lot easier to have.
That's that. I think you hit the nail right on the head, Brooke, because I believe sometimes we tend to, and tell me if I'm wrong, Ed, you assuming you got things now, in your mind, you playing mental gymnastics because you haven't taken the time to ask your wife, like, hey, what's going on? And Sue's assuming that like Brooke said, why I'm doing this, why we shouldn't even be having this discussion. But to me as a man, I'm like, I feel silly even broaching the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And now, and sometimes I tell people, when you don't have that conversation, you assuming things, and then there's that space. Now that space is being filled up with things that are not said.
You're having the conversation. You're just having it with yourself. You are playing both parts of the conversation. You are asking the question, and you done got the answer in your head, and then you ask a follow-up question. Right. And none of it is based on reality. Yeah. Right? Because I can make up a whole bunch of stories in my head. And the sweet spot is in being able to communicate with somebody else.
That was in the detail.
Them and understanding them, what they're saying and going through.
Absolutely. And which brings us to one conversation I think it's pretty much been a theme throughout me doing this, is communication. Like, communication is key. That's just another form of communication. Not communicating for fear of what your partner may think, or judging yourself like, oh, I'm feeling silly for doing this. Why am I feeling this way? I ain't gonna say nothing. But then in your mind, you playing mental gymnastics, not having a conversation. So let me ask you this: Do either of you know what your love language is? What the other person's love language is?
Yes, I think so. I got to let Ginger out.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. What you gotta do? Ed, what's your wife's love language?
Probably food.
I seen her look back.
I think that you got to first ask about the book. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
are you familiar with if there's love languages?
I've heard, yes, that there are love languages. No, I
There's
didn't read
5.
the book.
It
So
sounds like Susan read it because she didn't hesitate to say what hers was. So we have to wait to see. So I'm taking you have never read the book.
The many love languages.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
five love languages.
Oh, Fowler, you read the book?
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
right back so I can go grab that book.
Yeah, go ahead,
I read the book.
Sue. So have you read the book?
Yep, I read the book.
Do you? So what's your love language?
Mine is quality time.
Okay,
That's my number one. And then the second one is affirmation.
affirmations. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's my wife's words of affirmation. I think I got it wrong. So let me publicly apologize about that too. On the last one, I got it wrong. I thought it was actions. No, what is it?
Acts of service.
And it's not that. She likes words of affirmation too. So let me publicly, because I truly believe you. The apology needs to be is just as great as the offense. So I'm apologizing. I got that one wrong. My wife's it is words of affirmation for her. So Ed, you don't know what your love language is.
If I just heard her say no, I would I defy? I guess I wouldn't know.
Do you know? Do you think you know what his love language is, Sue? Just from knowing him all these years?
Yeah, his words of affirmation.
Okay.
Because yes, that one I would say is number one. They sometimes they say you have two, you have a main one, then you got a second one.
Yeah.
But I think his is words of affirmation.
So okay, because generally what happens is we tend to put out what we want back. So is he's always giving you words of affirmation? That's how you know that's what his is?
No, his is, I should say, the second one is acts of service. Because he loves to do for someone. You know, he wants the,
Is that his first thing? Like he loves to do. So that might be his primary love language then.
It may be. He loves to do. Yeah. You give him, if he can do this to make you happy, he's gonna do it to the 10th degree.
And that is assuming that that's what your love language is, because the thing that we have to know is that we have to talk to our partners in their love language.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I would challenge you. The book is real. It's a real simple read. I don't even know.
I guess you got it here.
It's an easy read.
Yeah.
It's a real
and you take this quiz and it tells you what your particular love language is. And then the task is for your partner to be able to talk to you in your love language. So if your love language is acts of service, then your partner, the more acts of service she gives you, the more love that you feel. If yours is personal or physical touch, then the more she touches you, the more love that you feel. But hers may be very different than yours. And if hers is different, then that's the one that you have to understand for her. And if hers is, let's just say quality time, then the more quality time you spend with her, the more love within the relationship she'll feel. So you have to talk to the person in their love language, even though it's really easy for us to operate from our own love language.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I was saying earlier. Sometimes we tend to put out what we want back. So we're talking to our partner in our love language and they're not understanding. And then I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Brooke, I believe that's where the disconnect happened. And sometimes that's where the communication lapses come, because we're talking to our partner in our love language and they like, I'm not understanding that, I'm not getting that. And then now we're having a communication issue and, things started to happen. But I would highly, matter of fact, I'm going to send Sue, because I don't have your number, Ed, but I'm going to send Sue. There's a quiz you can take. It's real short, and it'll kind of tell you can share with your husband after we finish all this. You can share with him so he can take the love language test.
Okay.
And then if you have the book, just have him read the chapters or read the chapters on whatever your love language is and whatever Sue's is, and then it'll just give you more information. It's such a easy read.
It really is. It's such an easy read. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good, because even in not reading it, not I had a chance to think and hear more of the comments, I would say that is Sue's love language. It's quality time. And I have come, it's part of my personality, but I've also come to part of my personality, but I know that doing it for her does it for her.
Yeah.
For instance, last night I got in late and preparing for Easter dinner, and time they gathered for us. I had to work early this morning, but I recognized and just remembered, let me just do something. So we found out and carved out 1 hour. We watch our little favorite show and have a little sip. She went back downstairs, and I know that does it for her.
Yeah.
So so
You know,
if it ain't but a few minutes, that's the best way for me to use my time. You know, now I don't consciously think about it, but I guess subconsciously I do, that in being rewarded or having her to respond back well, that would do it.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, Brooke mentioned something in one of our last session, and because we were talking to a couple about having self-care time. And she suggested to the couple, when your wife is able to when she's able to have that me time, then that gives her capacity to be able to do more for you, not only for you, but then for the family. You know what I'm saying? Like I say that when you can take something off your wife's plate, the reward that we get is tenfold. It really is. Like, it comes back. Like, and I tell, like, especially some of my friends, I was like, I don't necessarily subscribe to that, oh, a happy wife, happy life. But to some degree, I guess I do, because I know the more I'm able to do for her, what I'm gonna get back in return is gonna be tenfold.
Yeah.
Happy partner, happy life.
Yeah, happy.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Happy partner, happy life.
Real good point. You know, it come to mind for me a young couple in church, and yes, they did get divorced. I mean, I was kind of counseling him. He would come around and he said, "Bro, Hawk, she got mad last night. I come home from work and she's already there. I pull my car and she know I'm tired. So now I'm finna eat, and we eat. Then she said, well, I gotta go to school." He said, "Okay, I'll see you later." She said, "Can you move the car?" He said, "No, I ain't moving." No. Oh Lord, he missed it right there. Because in the youngest, his thing was, I know I just got home from work. You gotta go to school, then take my car or you move. And I said, "Brian."
But that was never communicated, was it?
That was never here it is. I guess that wasn't never communicated, but for the male, I give it to him, in my opinion, when we come into union in a young marriage, coming out of being single, bro, I don't think that's necessary. If I provide food and money into the house, that's enough. I shouldn't worry about having to do any duties for you. Pastor teaches all the time to the brothers, brother, open that door. And that's something that the male, and here's me talking about black males now, they on their table, because they wouldn't open the door for mama. And possibly the daddy wouldn't open the door for mama either, because it just wasn't educated. You know, to be cycled out. So I just brought it up to say that you're right. That caused that brother 2 weeks. He said she was mad for 2 weeks. And later on, when I talked to him about it, I think he may have got it then, but it was a lesson for me. I just heard, my God, you could have saved 2 weeks by just moving the car. So simple things of that nature, and taking something else off her plate. When I heard you say that, well, just take it off her plate. She came and cooked. She got to go back to school.
And not only that, him just moving the car. Okay, I know my wife got to go to work, so let me call and say, because there were so many things that could have been done. Hindsight being what it is, you look back, he could have called, "Hey, babe, I know you got to go to school tonight, so I'm about to pull up. Let's just switch cars." Or, "Hey, leave your keys at the front door. I'm gonna move the car so you can go and do what you need to do." Absolutely. Or, "Babe, you guess what? I'm gonna take your car." I mean, there was so much either one of them could have did to save that 2 weeks. We both mad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
yeah. Just, I mean, again, communication, young, and that is what this platform is about, to be able to show people, like, because y'all 27 years in and looking like y'all divorced over that, or that was one of the things that led up to divorce. Like, you could have worked that out. You feel what I'm saying? Because the things that people get mad about, especially when you know you didn't put in the work, like that wasn't worth it. That was really not worth it. You know what I'm saying? If you look back, now that you're on the other side of it, and you look back at the things that you've been through, you could probably say to yourself, if you'd have known what I went through, I probably should have been gone. You know what I'm saying? Just listening to some of the stuff that y'all told me earlier, like, oh, okay, you did that. I'm not passing judgment or anything like that.
No, we ain't taking that way. No, for real.
People look, you just never know what you would do until you're in it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's key. Has Your definition of marriage changed since the day you got married. How and why?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because you know what? When I first got married, and being in the church, I was like trying to be what you call it? Psalms, Proverbs 32, 31, something wife. Perfect, and we not gonna have an argument and heated head, and I'm just gonna say yes, and we just gonna be and it was like, oh, that nearly killed me.
Being that submissive wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had to carve out what submission was for me and us.
Ooh, that part.
And so once we got through that, okay, it's a well-oiled wheel, still working, but still need oiling. But that nearly killed me and us when I had to work that thing out.
Can you tell us, Sue, maybe an example of what, maybe if something that you can remember that stuck with you even now today, that where you had to work through that, carving that submission thing out, like how, giving us an example of what that might have been for you?
Not being feeling like I couldn't give my opinion.
Not having a voice.
Not having a voice.
Oh, okay.
Just always, yes. Whatever he said, yes. There's no discussion. He the head.
And you said that you're an RN?
Yes.
Yeah. So she also came from a place where she was in school, had to give opinions, and her thoughts mattered.
Yeah.
So then to go into this thing thinking that I have to be submissive, and it's all in the definition of what submission means, really, for the individual couple. But you came from a place where, no, my opinion matters. I'm just as educated and able to make decisions as anybody else.
Yes.
And now here I sit where I'm supposed to be this submissive person. And it's really in you deciding, the two of you deciding what submission means for you.
Yes. Yes. That was very difficult, extremely difficult. Because I definitely didn't want to, what I learned along the way is that I didn't want to wear pants. I didn't want to be that wife that treats her husband like a kid, nor was that was his personality either.
Right.
He wasn't the, a yes husband to where he shrunk small,
You emasculated him. You didn't want to emasculate your husband.
That wasn't his personality. He wasn't going for it. He's a man. That was one of the things I love, because he was a man's man.
Yeah.
So I wasn't trying either to be, I'm taking over too. I want to be in charge. No, I want to be taken care of, but I have an opinion. Just because I want you to take care of me and oversee us, didn't want to be dominated. There was a difference. Didn't want to be dominated, I still wanted to have an opinion and a voice. I matter. I was doing this thing before you came in. This is what I saw in my family, my mom. I can do this. I So that once I worked that out through the Lord helping me, you rewrite what submission is for you and your husband.
Wow.
And you're still in order with me.
Yeah.
That helped. That changed a whole lot.
Ed, where you want to chime in on that?
Yeah. In listening now, some clarity is coming in, because also being in the
after
church,
27 years, you just gained a little clarity in this moment right here.
This guy right here.
Amen. No, and I only say that to say, you know what? You never stop learning, though.
Ever.
You never stop learning.
That's the reason I wanted to point that out. You never stop learning.
Right. And it is an error to say, we good, we have made it. And what we've done yesterday over 27 years now will take us on to the end. Not so, because that 27 years ago was day one in marriage. 27 years ago, we was at one age, and now we're at another. There's some new aches and pains going on. There's some things that have changed our whole makeup and our dynamics. God never changes, but we evolve. We always do. Amen. So you got to have an active marriage. If you have to say marriage, you got one as a cookie cutter, it ain't going. That's what happened. That's in my opinion what happens. I believe when the children finally get grown, they get out, they split, because nobody was actively working on that marriage. But back to what Susan said about the wanting to have a voice. So for me in the church as well, you know, I read and read the scripture in era 2. I'm in charge. I'm here the household. And when she wanted to share, I took offense to it because you about to try and tell me what to do. I wouldn't having her tell me what to do. I wouldn't having too many men tell me what to do because I spent my time in charge. I was part of the law enforcement division in Detroit Public School, so I was knocking it down. I was telling everybody what to do. Right. I'm in the church telling everybody.
Always been in a leadership role.
Always been in a leadership role. Now, so I had to find my place with. She is my helpmate, which she used to tell me. It took a long time to get it. I ain't necessarily saying we have to go in a direction. I just say it, but I want to know that you heard me. And so that happened in steps, because once I say yes, I understand that, and it became a game. She said, I listened and I moved. She said, you couldn't have processed what I said. And she was right. I tried to pacify. She said she wanted me to hear her. I listened for her, but the decision I had already made was the decision we were going to do, and that was the end of that.
Wow.
I had to learn over time that in her communication was education for me. So I could alter the decision, and even if I made it in the direction that she said 100 to be, there was still no threat to me. My manhood had not been stripped. My leadership was still in place. I was well, but I come to find out I was a better leader when I listened to my mate. Wow. Because when she heard it, they hear it differently. And I had some blind spots to my hearing and to my actions. So she's right on point about that being a different definition than how we started. Because again, she tried to get that role in it. And I can't, no one heard not, lots of trouble. I gotta commit it because that Al, she said it. I already had a bank account without you. I already had a life. I'm a registered RN. Matter of fact, my degree is bigger than yours. She never put it in my face, but that was so.
Right.
And my leadership skills in one of the early runs, just being truthful now and being transparent, I ran through the whole bank account, making decisions about how the money should go. Empty. I drained hers, empty. Still in debt. Because my one way was she didn't leave, but it bowed me down. It changed me.
Yeah.
And when we got some more change back in the bank, I walked it through with her. I listened to her. And eventually it got to a point where at the end of the day, she don't want to hear about it unless she want to hear about it. All she want to do is get up in the morning and eat, play with that damn dog, take it to the go to the store whenever she want to go to the store, shop online. I don't want to hear the little details. You on the phone, making payment, talking to I don't want to hear. I want that. But she did always want to know, and she was entitled to.
Yeah. Whenever
she raised the flag and said, hey, tune me in, I had to learn, take no offense, tune her in because it's hers as well. And I would never want her to be in position. The Lord called me in early or on the scheduled time. She still stay here. Now she's completely lost. I know what's going on. So we're working at getting that what's transferable. So but she's right, that change in our early stage to where we are now. In terms of the definition of our marriage, he's in charge. Whatever he says goes. Let's follow the suit. You know, he say he wants sex, or she makes sex happen, and we just kind of go through the steps.
Yeah.
And
you know what, Ed, you said something that's very key, and I just to our listeners that listen to that, Sue said this, as Sue mentioned this. You have to know what submission is in your marriage, especially for those who are you're going by the word, and everything, and you're reading the Bible, you're getting advice from church, but you have to know what that definition of submission is for yourself and you and your spouse. Absolutely. He has to know what leadership, because like you said, as men, we get caught up in our egos. Like, I don't need you telling me, I don't care what you got going on. I'm the head and this is how it's going to be. Right. Thus silencing your wife's voice. You know what I'm saying? And that is no way. No, especially in today's Black women, these Black queens, they not having it. Nope. They just not having it. This is now our grandparents' or our parents' marriages, where they're in these marriages where, and I'm sure you can, everybody on this call can identify with this, where our parents, well, not so much my mom, but I want to say my grandparents, where they were in the marriage. No matter what the man did, he came home, he paid the bills. And what he did was his business, and you hushed it up. Because then your girlfriends was echoing this same thing. Girl, be quiet. He coming home. Don't worry about what he doing. No, these sisters today ain't buying that. No.
Right.
That's not how we doing this, brother. That's
That
not
happened.
right.
You got off at 5 and came home at 11.
That's
Right.
right.
Exactly. They not having it. So to be able to, and you can have a voice, like Sue said, without emasculating your husband, without the husband feeling like, hey, I feel less than a man. And to me, being able to communicate with, like you said, you got blind spots. You're not able to see and hear everything. And I believe the Bible always describes the wisdom in terms of the female gender. You know what I'm saying? So speak to that point when you talk to your wife. Guess what? She can offer some form of wisdom. Absolutely. It may not necessarily align with what you want, especially if you as men, sometimes we get fixated on something. Absolutely. And we know that's what it is. Right. But if we learn to listen to our mate, like you said, your helpmate, she might be able to point out some, there may be some errors in your reasoning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of trust though, because what I heard it say is that, early on I ran through that, and still Sue is here, and now we're on the very opposite side of that, where Sue is like, do what it is that you're gonna do. When I want to know about it, I want to know about it, and tell me then. But until then, I trust you.
Yes.
To make the right decisions for us. And I think that trust is worth its weight in gold, really.
So
just being able to trust somebody.
How did you? How were you during that time? Like, where were you? Where was your space at? Where was you at during that time?
Early on.
Yeah, early on.
Yeah, I was I got to the point where I was numb because I was like, this submission thing is literally killing me. This definition and not feeling like I was heard. So I just kind of numbed it for a minute. And one of the things that I specifically remember during that time is that my mother told me that my niece said that Auntie don't smile anymore. And I said, oh, so that was the beginning of me. I got to do something different. We got to do something different.
Did you, during that time, because that sounded like that might have been a really difficult time in your marriage, because especially when, and Brooke, I'm sure you can attest to this. One of the major reasons for divorce is finances and I know
finances, communication, sex.
Sex. So were there any particular tools that you guys used to get through it? Did you seek a counseling, or y'all just kind of work through it yourselves?
Yeah, we did have counseling with pastor.
Okay.
Many times, and it got to the point where he's like, I ain't gonna see y'all no more.
Yeah, because we did a counseling session, and his position was you went home and you didn't do the work.
Yeah,
and we did because we was at one another in such hardness that it didn't leave room for the work to be done. It was just more comfortable to stay in the same way we are. And, the ugliness and the madness, we got masked. So we hang out with the friends, and we did the children as we had. And, we had relationship when it happened too, but there was no intimacy in it. Just, we just had it. And now we're done. We keep it moving. Got to eat. So it just got, because I remember coming into one
routine got kind of stale.
It got stale. But we were so determined to make this marriage work that we accepted the staleness and we masked it. And we said it was all good. That's a real strong comment she talks about what her niece said to her, because now we was out the other day with some other couples hanging out. Her ace boom coon was with us too. And something happened. She ordered me some food, a piece of some dessert. Bridget, she says, I'm always going to order that for you, whatever you want, because you keep my sister smiling. So the reversal, the aftermath came in. There was a time when niece said, oh, Auntie don't smile. Because she was smiling before me. happy-go-lucky. Her world was good. She was in school. She graduated. She had a mama alive, and they had a nice house, and she had her own car. And then she came in and tried to run the submissive role that was given to us verbatim of the words of scripture. And me being mixed up as the way I was, it just depleted her joy.
Wow.
Snatched it right out. So going back to the session, I came one time, and just one time, I know we see Pastor every couple of weeks or so. I ain't say nothing during the times when we were just having intense fellowship with Pastor Carl. And I wrote down everything she did. I ain't say nothing. So I knew I got it now, Pastor. I came and said, Pastor, look, see all that? That's all what she did. He said, son, you finished? I said, yeah. He says, you see all these? I think you know them. They about 45 of them, right? I said, yeah, Pastor, 45. And I ain't say nothing. He said, son, all of those, it's your fault. I told you what so did. And I didn't do nothing. I ain't say nothing back. I ain't get mad. I ain't cross at her. I ain't say nothing, Pastor. I thought I was in good.
Thought she was home free.
He said, son, all that's your fault. Now, and that started me to getting in your household, head of house, man that you are, the tone that's going on is on you. If she's feeling love, it's going to come out. If she's feeling depleted and sour, it's going to show up. If she's feeling neglected, it's going to show up. Pastor would say to brothers, oh, you said your wife got a little thick now, huh? Yeah, Pastor, I'm trying to get her curve down and do some walking. He said, when the last time you walked? I said, when's the last time you took her walk? When the last time you said, hey, let's do a healthy meal together? And so I got that. That we have to, brothers, because brothers always want to be a man. I'm a man. Go ahead and be the man. But you have to cultivate what you want in your household. And to give her room to be who she is, the blossom that you said she was when you said I do.
Right.
And then you'll get the benefits of what it is that you're looking for. And that was a hard lesson for me to run, because I always understood, especially with having a black book. Yeah. I seen A, B, and C on this day. I was in charge for the last 2 hours, 35 minutes. Yeah. Got a wife, and she's tried, but it didn't work. It didn't last long. Because I wasn't in charge. I was in error. I was causing confusion in my household. And the household itself was feeling it. And I had to recognize it. It starts with me. Yeah.
It reminds me of stop paying attention so much to what other people are doing and take responsibility for your own actions. Yeah, that's good. And if you get yourself together, then it's a lot easier to see the good in other people. And when you change, somebody else is going to automatically change too, because relationships are kind of like closed systems. One person can't change and the other person not change. If you change, then she automatically has to change.
And a comment to that, I had to honor her change time. Yes. He was one of my errors. I would say, I'm sorry, and identify what it is I did. And I was looking for instant change. And when I didn't get it, I was back on my ugly side. So I had to hear pastors say and learn it for myself. Do you continually to do you? It could take a year just doing you to where you comfortable doing you, and then God will work on the change. That wasn't my role. I was trying to change her, develop her, structure her, give her what I thought our marriage needed. She's like, oh, I don't been that way.
But you know what, Ed? But as men, though, we fixers. So we expect that the moment we think we got it fixed, there's supposed to be an instantaneous change. And women just don't operate that way. They just don't. They just don't. And that's why I go back to early when we was talking about earlier about the whole infidelity thing. When that happens, women are more likely, but even though they're more likely to forgive, they haven't forgotten. So it may take, while we say, okay, well, it's all good. No, it may take 6 months. It may take a year, and she may not cook you no food for whatever, or have doing it or slapping the food, but it's gonna take time. And one of our other therapists I use for this podcast, she said, trust is lost in buckets, is gained back in droplets.
That's
wow,
good. That's
I
good.
like that.
And it does. You know what I'm saying? We thinking like, oh, okay. You know, been there, done that. Like, okay, everything good. I said I'm sorry. she's like, okay, yeah, you said you're sorry, but that don't mean all is forgiven and I didn't forgot about it. You know,
Yeah.
women operate on a different way, and we have to allow them that space to be able to do what they need to do in order to heal. They're there,
Yeah.
but you got to give them we got to give them a chance, you know. And some men operate like that too, but generally it's more where women operate in that space than it is, you know, than men. So
absolutely. And I learned that, you know, she was doing the best she could. So in her changing time, a transformation, whatever you want to call it, she could only work with what she had. God created her in such a manner, it didn't run the same way as a man.
Yeah, exactly.
Hers is different. So I let her operate within her tools. She wanted to get there. She looking for harmony too. But it's just her makeup just don't allow her just to flip the switch and be back in.
Yeah.
Right.
So and Susan says to me often too, not early, he said, I don't need you to fix it. Or she would be talking to me and I would come up with a suggestion or comment. She said, that's not what I'm looking for. All I want you to do is just listen. And for me, I'm like, I'm not listening for if I ain't getting ready to solve it. After you tell me so I can solve it. She's like, I don't need you to solve it. I don't need you to fix it. I just need you to listen. And matter of fact, here we come. And that was a struggle. Let me have the whole platform. Beginning, middle, and end. And when we end, we go do something else. You won't get a comment. Oh, let's ask you for it.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. But I got one on this. I got a good one on this. And it wasn't as nice as it is now. It was, you know, it was like I was offending her.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I know I'm doing good because I listen, ain't said nothing. And then I would go back and give my comment, and she would get the ugly face all over again. I was re-offending her and not giving her what she needed, which was just to listen. You had me, that you heard me.
Right. And I think
that's fine. And sometimes, more than sometimes, she never needed me to say anything. Not then, not tomorrow, as the next day, or nothing. Just know that I need to call you in. Don't want to talk, whether it be the household or about me, or about the children, or about a situation at work, or about a girlfriend. Because you said it right, Brother Al. We got this fix-it piece on us. We just he created us as a warrior. Yeah. So we went out and we hunted. We protected the home, and if something was wrong, we wanted to correct it. I had to learn from her. No, you don't have to fix it. Just hear me. Your hearing is my fix.
And sometimes, you know, I think that women, they're, because that's normally what she would get from her girlfriends, but because they already know, girl, they call and they just want, and they instinctively know to listen. Like, for example, Ed, me and you could start talking about something. Your wife might not get it right off, but as a man, I'm going to understand it. But in those moments, in those intimate moments between the two of you, you have to, and that goes both ways. But I think more so for women, when women talk to their husbands or, you know, their significant others, like, all I need you to do is listen. Don't say nothing. Just hear me. That's it. Nothing else. But like you said, Brother Ed, we as men, we fix it mode. Like, okay, once she finished talking, I got a solution to everything you just said.
Right.
Just listen. You know what I'm saying? Hold my hand, give me a hug, give me a kiss, tap me on the back, and we done with that now.
We done with it. Yeah.
Because that's what a girlfriend gonna do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, and so for them, girl, that do something. That just she on the phone now. They be up to the ceiling, like, oh. But here's two. She also, I believe she learned that there are those conversations that she do with the girlfriends. You can't do them with me. I ain't got that makeup. I ain't. I think they get that. I can give you that.
Right. I want to say this. So I tell my wife, like, when she get ready to put on stuff and she get all dressed up, and so she'll go and model her stuff and looking at me, and I'm like, and I say, babe, so she was like, you ain't listening to me. I said, babe, I am listening to you. You look nice in it, but if you want me to be girl, pop, that ain't in my makeup. I said, and if it was you, I'm sure you might be looking at me a little sideways.
Right.
Call your girl, and I'm sure she'll be like, you can put FaceTime, or you can use my phone because she got an Android. You can use my phone, and then she can be like, girl, blah blah blah. I said, but that ain't me. I'm gonna tell baby, you look nice, you look amazing, you look beautiful. But she want a little extra. You ain't listening to me. You ain't feeling me. I don't know what you want me to do. I can't do that.
I ain't that guy.
Act that guy. You know what I'm saying? So I think in that but you know what? We laugh about that. You know, it's not nothing serious, but I think too, like you said, in those moments you have to understand, your wife understand, she knows certain conversations that she just not gonna do that for you.
Right.
But then you also know when she says, hey, I need to tell you something, and it's very nonverbal. You know, my wife needs my undivided attention. I know I have to listen today. I have to listen to her right now in this moment, and that's all she needs. But that happens. That's not something you get right off the bat. It happens over time. It just happens.
Yeah, over time.
Yeah.
You have to allow, and you just gotta allow for that space. You know, you really, you just
most
really
definitely.
do. Okay, I mean, we got another game to play. Is anybody good with time? I don't want to keep everybody.
I think we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
What about you, Brooke? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good for probably another 15 minutes or so.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
I'm with Brooke, 15.
Another 15 sounds good to me. Cool. All right, here we go. What would you tell your partner if you were turned? Oh my God. What would you tell your partner if you were turned on by their sibling? A.
By their sibling?
By their sibling. A. No, that's stupid. B. Yes, I believe in honesty. C. No, but if it got worse, I would. D. Yes, but only as part of a breaking up to try for the sibling.
So what would I say to Sue if she told me she was turned on by my brother?
That one.
And her and I still together?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yes. So
He said yes, so
yeah, it wouldn't be no, oh baby, you know that you can no we
Oh yeah, I have to be like, okay, well,
that's Sue, that's ugly. That's like the devil, girl.
I wonder why. I mean, why that even has to be shared. That would be my question. Why would we even?
Especially if you're not gonna act on it. I think I agree with Brooke. Like I wouldn't share that.
Yeah, I would.
I don't think I would even share.
I wouldn't share. I wouldn't even share. It'd be something I just have to work it out myself. Yeah. Like, oh, fix this.
He got a good looking brother, but of course he has a good looking brother because he's good looking. So there's that, right? And just let that go.
Yeah,
I have to agree. I agree with Brooke. Like I wouldn't even bring that up to my wife if I. Like we not even having that conversation. Like at the end of the day, that's off limits. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going there. I'm not even because at the end of the day, to me that's open up Pandora's box for more questions to be asked.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're having family moments around holidays. Like we're not even having that conversation.
Yeah, it'll create a very uncomfortable atmosphere now.
Absolutely.
And the stuff that I might have wasn't paying attention to or didn't think of. Now I'm analyzing and dissecting. Oh, why he over there? Why he say that?
Yeah.
No, it'll just change the whole vibe.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're gonna put this one in the at the bottom of the card barrel there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Is there anything you ever done to your partner in the past, whereas they sought revenge against you in some way, you would have understood why?
Anything they did to us in the past that I would have seek revenge, and
she would have sought revenge, and you would have understood why. Is there anything that you
based on what I did?
Wait, based on what? Okay.
Yeah, well, back to me, right? This running through the money.
Okay.
And been telling her seeking revenge in that now she did the same thing.
Okay.
I think I would have had to kind of understand that one. Yeah, because I always here's another play in my mind when I think about that. If I cheat and she finds out about it, and Sue about one that she lets you stay for a moment, but you'll never touch her again. She's gonna put on all the great stuff and just pass it on by. She gonna leave the house, come back
looking good, smelling good,
smelling good. So I'm in constant torture. And if in fact it happened, you say you brought it on yourself. And I would have to say, I did. And so that's one of the things that keeps me at this point, because I've had the Playboy Day thing. I get all that. But for me, and Pastor gave this analogy to the brothers talking to one time. The brothers have, just imagine how you would act if you was at the corner down the street from your house. You watch your garage door open. You seen your wife go in with another man. They went through the steps, went upstairs to your bedroom, and all of a sudden the lights go. And all you can think about is what she did with you. She not doing there, and he might even get some extra. I'm
worried about the extra part.
So in that session, I say I'm done. I ain't going for that.
Yeah.
So that right there. So I'm going for the money. Her just saying, doing it herself as well because of I did it. I would have to find a place to understand that. Yeah. That's for me.
That's a good one. I couldn't think of anything else, but the money is a good one. Yeah.
And you know what, y'all, because I definitely want to say this before we end this. And I said this earlier that I understand marriage is a sacred place, and the fact that y'all was so transparent about that moment in y'all marriage, like that was huge. It really was. That was huge because I don't think most couples would have been comfortable enough to be able to talk about something that detrimental, because that could have ended y'all marriage.
Agree. Oh yeah.
It could have ended y'all marriage. So being so transparent about that, again, I want to appreciate that, because that's what this platform is for. This is the good, bad, and the ugly. Y'all 27 years on the other side of this thing. So again, hats off to you. Black marriage wins once again, but that could have definitely ended y'all marriage. So thank you for being so transparent about that. All right, here's the last question. If you got ready to have sex at someone's house for the first time and they took you to a completely separate padded room where you had to sign an NDA and an agreement to do whatever you were told upon entering, would you? A, yes, or B, no?
So, okay.
Some other than our spouse, we at somebody else's house and have sex with them.
I'm assuming that's what this question means.
So this before we marry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, because marriage, we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So before, yeah. What?
So let's just say it was before your marriage. If you got ready to have sex at someone's house for the first time and they took you to a completely separate padded room where you had to sign a non-disclosure, an NDA, and an agreement to do whatever you were told upon entering, would you? A, yes, or B, no?
No.
I knew her answer.
I don't trust people like that. No. Nah.
She don't even go to the family buffet, but I can't eat this. I don't know who cooked.
No.
When I tell you her and my wife are cut from the same cloth, listen, my wife will not even get on. Like if I took her to Vegas one year for her birthday. Mind you, I would have saved me a couple extra dollars in my pocket to gamble.
Yeah.
Had to spend the extra money on about upwards to probably close to $1,000 on tickets to go to Delta, because she wouldn't fly on nothing else but Delta. Look at
Al, Lord, look at you, Al.
For real.
You stirring stuff up my house. You about to call the divorce thing. This girl that flew Delta a few times, and so I'm still at spirit because I need to save them dollars. But she'd be like, you know what? You need to work it out. We're gonna do something less. Maybe you won't eat one night, but I need the Delta. I've been up late. Now it's crazy because I've been up late night. I just finished a late night session for 5 or 6 days to finally get her on this Delta because she won't.
My wife told me
we done been through spirit. Had 3 small kids. We doing family vacation, and I'm conscious trying to help my husband too because they're trying to figure out these dollars. So I'm like, okay, I done did spirit long enough. I'm real grown now. Kids is older.
I got a boy.
You got a year to plan it. Get me on Delta. Trying to get this money for you. I'm giving you the dollars. I'm putting in the pot with you.
Right.
Give me on Delta.
Give me on Delta.
That's all I have. Can you just give me on Delta? Can you just please?
Hey Delta, we need some promotional over here. We giving y'all a shout out. I think everybody
Delta, please respond back.
Right, we need some promotions over here. You know what?
But to your question over with me, Al, as well. Yeah, I couldn't do, because I'm kind of answer that in today's climate. Today's climate, I'm gonna have all kind of crazy issues.
Okay.
But back prior to being married, back up in the day, I'm about wild for a game.
So you would have said yes.
Yeah, you know, because again, at that point too, I'm feeling I'm invincible.
Yeah.
I can bust out this room whenever I want to, but you want to sassy it up, spice it up. I mean, God, let me see what you're working with. I can get up there, my mom ain't seen me for 3 days.
Oh my God. Oh man, oh man. All right. Well, we definitely will get ready to go ahead and wrap this thing up. I appreciate you guys coming on. I appreciate the transparency. I knew this was going to be fun. This is one of the interviews I was definitely looking forward to having. I had courted Sue about this months ago. Like, Sue, I need you and your husband to come on. She's like, cuz I got you. So we were just trying to wrestle out the date so she can talk with her husband and make sure they can come on. I appreciate it. It was definitely fun.
Yeah.
What would you say, Brooke? You got any takeaways from this before we close things out?
No, my takeaway is as it always is, something that I've been talking about every time that I've gotten an opportunity to talk here, is communication and trust, and being able to trust that your partner has your back, and knowing that the decision that they're going to make is going to be for our benefit, not just theirs.
Yeah.
And having that trust in relationship, I think, takes away a lot of the other concerns that people have. And just as that last question, I was thinking, yeah, if I trusted the person,
bring the pooch on.
I absolutely could. But if I don't trust the person, then no, I'm not signing nothing. So I think trust and communication are probably the two biggest determiners of whether people stay together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we just want to say thank you to Cousin and for bringing us on. We enjoyed ourselves as well.
Yeah, okay.
And just thanks for seeing something within us that you wanted to share on your podcast, and possibly can help somebody else. And it just brought back memories of like, ooh,
did y'all, before we close, I do want to ask you this. During this, did y'all learn anything new about one another?
Yeah.
Y'all did? What was that?
Me thinking what his love language is,
okay,
and what he think his love language is. You know, of course, I like reading those self-help books, but just now, like, okay, we need to really discover, because I want to make sure I'm on with meeting, you know, your love language.
Yeah.
Meeting his love language.
I think it's a good comment for me too, because I want to read the book so I join in and we have conversation that puts in clarity, and not just me seeing that these things I've been doing bring about a smile. That might not be the language. I recognize that in the book, or once you identify the language, it goes back to this. I've been thinking about ever since we scheduled to do this here. Brooke made it up too about the trust. But I coined phrases that if you want to make this marriage work, you have to, and I'm talking about the brothers, you have to move into a forever forgiving. It's a constant piece, because often she'll just say something and she ain't meaning it in intention, but it take you to the left. If I don't forgive her, I'm ready to go back some words.
Right.
And now we add it again. And then, but the reality is that if the car was coming down the street, would you run out there and push her out the way, save her life?
Yes.
Brother can't answer that for real.
Right.
You might not be doing this marriage piece.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go out to the car and do that for her. But at the same time, we have to channel that into day-to-day, everyday life. And we're talking, she's busy, I'm busy. Words come out sometimes. They come out cross and wrong. I had a tense moment a few weeks ago, and she said, offered me the apology. She says, "What else you need?"
We can laugh now.
That's one of those we can laugh now moments, Sue.
We can laugh about it now.
Back in the early days, we about to get it in.
It's about to be some friction.
I thought about that. And so here it is. Thank you, Lord, for the growth. I was able to go back and say to her, "Baby, I know you offered me that apology, but it's got me feeling some kind of way. I didn't feel apologized to you, offended me."
Yeah.
And through those words, that trust that was there in the platform, she allows me to come in and say that. She said, and she stood up She's been cheer. She still gave me her. Said, I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. And we moved on.
Yeah.
But back in earlier year, oh, we'd been 2-3 weeks on that one.
Yeah.
Bills ain't paid. We ain't talking. Pizza every night.
And Ed, I'm sure you know, as cancers, we can hold a
Oh,
grudge.
doctor. And get to that little corner of the bed and never moves. Don't move one time. She don't move not one time. I tap it. Ain't nobody home. I'm tapping again. She come downstairs. Here it is. We gotta go. Say hello, hug. Hey, hi everybody. Hey, Caleb gave me Sophia. Hey, Jenny, poo poo poo. Get to me like, that thing wrote about 2 weeks after. So,
oh my God. Yeah, that's a cancer trait, whether you're male or female, because I know I done been there like, I'm mad, I'm pissed, like whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna get ready to close it out. Again, it's been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate you guys coming on, being so transparent about your marriage. I definitely learned a lot about you. I know you guys, but now I feel like I know you share some very intimate things about your marriage. And that I'm sure, was painful at the time, but you're, like I said, you're on the other side of it, and being in that space enough to be able to, man, we can talk about this now. We're past it, and y'all know that, like I told you, this platform is to help other people who may be in similar situations. You can get through it. It's not, again, in order for a marriage to grow, it's like a plant. You got to water it. You got to put in the work. You have to you just got to put in the work. And like Brooke said, trust and communication. Communication, and know, like she always says on every time she comes on this show, know that your partner, trust enough to know that your partner has your best interest at heart. What I'm doing is for us.
Yes.
Maybe I might not be going about it the right way, but that's where we need to have the communication so that we can figure out what we need to do to make sure that we're both on the same page.
Yes.
That's good.
I like what Ed said though too about forgiveness. I mean, that's one of I have that tattooed on my arm. Grace and forgiveness.
Amen.
Grace and forgiveness, I think, go a long way. And it's not that I need a whole bunch of hope. There were a whole bunch of things that I needed to forgive, but recognizing that forgiveness is for me too. And if I can let it go, then we can keep moving forward.
Right. That's good.
So you put all of those ingredients together. That my partner has my best intentions. Intentions are good. And that my partner also is not he's not out here trying to just tear me down and hurt my feelings. Yes, we all have moments where we say things in ways that are not as pleasant to the ear to come out, but recognize that, okay, they're human too. Yeah, they were having a bad moment and it came out a little bit different than I always say, you ain't gonna talk to me that way. And I leave it at that. You ain't gonna talk to me any old kind of way,
right?
But it becomes a joke at that point, right? But I recognize that my partner has my best interest at heart.
Yeah,
and I think that goes a long, long, long way.
Yeah, that's the foundation. Keep
really
that belief in, no matter what happens. I know, at least I know, making it personal. He always had my best interests at heart.
Absolutely.
Even in our rough moments, I've always said, even when talking with girlfriends, oh, that was a rough moment. Oh, but I know, beyond a shadow of doubt, he loves me. That was always true. In our worstest moments, and we've had some, and I've always known he loved me for real.
Man. That's awesome, and that is key. And that, I mean, what else can we say but that? Ed, I need you to pray us out of this thing, brother.
Amen. Yep. I got you, my brother.
Right.
To you, Father, the Most High, we celebrate and we honor your name. We thank you for the platform that you have allowed for us to share. We hope that you would breathe upon it, that others might have an opportunity to hear and seek guidance, seek direction, because the institution of marriage, you gave it to man, and you had a way that we should go about it. But in our flesh, Father God, we fall short on many sides. We need you. Thank you for Brother Al and his efforts. Thank you for Dr. Brooks and her knowledge of sharing and the comfort that she has in seeing that others would survive and make it through the hard hurdles. And continue to bless my marriage, Father God, and keep us in a place to give you all the honor, the glory, and the praise. It is to you, the Most High, we say thank you. We bless you. We honor you. And we thank you, Father God, for the eve of Easter, for he did rise.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All
Thank
right.
you, brother.
Yeah, I don't know. Thank you. Like I said, I can't thank you enough for being you. Man, y'all was so transparent, very relatable, you know, friendly. I knew this was gonna be one I was looking forward to. I really was. I knew it was
Let me give you this on the close now.
Yeah.
Sue, your ace boon here. She had 3 babies mamas come in the game. One of them put me in jail a few times. The other one was eating up the friend of court. Sue was at a fellowship about, it's been over a year. And she told her friends, I said, Lord, am I getting a little King David piece? She was sitting at the table with the family, and people like, y'all friends? She the previous wife, Sue the current wife. But my mom used to tell this previous wife, said, baby, because she waited a long time to get married. Go ahead and get married. He ain't coming back. Sue done locked him down. But I just say all to say that all the dynamics of how ugly it could get, without extramarital, not affairs, but baggage, blended marriages, women that don't do well with the other, some of the harsh treatment they bring to the plate. But Sue having her own issues. You ain't going over there. I don't want you talking there. You ain't going to pick up them kids over there. Don't bring them here to this house. She weathered all of that. She's now considered a good friend because the woman even asked her when she did get married, she asked Sue's advice and wanted her to be a part of it. So that's how God can do when you just stand. So, but they all knew, whether they wanted to admit it or not, she wasn't no joke. I got him, what y'all had before, wherever you thought, how good you thought he was, he is, but you didn't get the right cultivation on it. And she said, well, thank you for the little bit you put in. I've already taken it from there. So I didn't tell him that because the story is often different when a blended marriage comes in. And now she had 3 baby mamas.
Right.
She maneuvered through them all, never lost her place, and stayed the wife that she is, second in charge of our household, helped me get through it. We did friend of court issues. We did jail issues. I've been locked up. She had to go and get the money from her mama to go get me out of jail. And her mama said, and she didn't say it, but she used to always say when I first come around, because I had that little hair on my little shoulder, I was slick as they come. Mama said, why you like him? Oh, he nice, Mama. Really? Get all them damn kids. But so I'm excited for what he has done for me. So I'm good. Good. Thank you.
Well, no, thank you guys. And then with that, we're going to go ahead and close it out. Another successful episode of Black Marriage Chronicles. It's funny now. We have with us Edward and Sue Hawkins. Thank you so very much. And therapist, relationship expert Brooks. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. With that, I'm going to leave you in peace.
Thank you.
Right,
peace be to you.
Right, y'all have a good
take
one.
Care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, y'all. So there was another successful episode of Black Marriage Chronicles. It's funny now. We had the Edward and Sue Hawkins. So if you like this episode, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate it. I hope y'all like my new background. I feel like I'm a little closer to the camera, a little bit more personal with you guys. So changed things up a little bit. And this will be how we're doing. I like the lighting. I've been playing around with it for a while to kind of get everything right. I think I like this lighting, the background setup. I think this is what we're going to use going forward. We might have a couple of extra something in the background, but for now, I think this is what we're going to go with. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next episode. In that, I will leave you in peace.